The perfect time for Steve Kornacki to make his return to Football Night in America because it is getting complicated and convoluted and very exciting as we try to figure out the 7 teams that are going to make it, the percentage chances of making it, and each week is going to have a dramatic impact on what the percentages will be the following week. Kornacki returns to Football Night in America this week. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a little fun here. We always like to have some fun. We have our projected, as of right now, and it's subject to change. I'm hurt that you would say that. You don't have fun? This isn't fun for you? Why do you do it if it's not fun?
I ask myself that every day. No, just kidding.
Anyway, we've got our 7 seeds projected for each conference. I'm hurt by that. We'll start with the NFC. Myles, who are your 7 that you would say right now? Not if it ended today. We know we can figure that out. But who do you believe when it ends 5 weeks from now will be the 7 seeds? And do we start with the NFC? Did we decide to start with the NFC? NFC, here we go.
All right, so it's almost chalk, which I think is a little bit boring. But when you look at all of the different schedules, here's how I think it plays out. You got Cardinals up top. They stay with the 1 seed and get the only bye. I think the Packers are going to continue to play well. And even if the Packers, they could have a slip up against maybe Baltimore, against Cleveland, perhaps on Christmas night, or against Minnesota. I don't see them slipping any further than the 2 seed. The Cowboys and the Buccaneers are probably going to stay where they are too, the Rams as well. I think that the 49ers seem like they're really playing well at this point. I know they just lost to Seattle, but it looks like they might get Deebo Samuel back this week. Fred Warner also could come back. They could go 3-2 over their last 5 games, finish 9-8. And then I think the Eagles are going to sneak in there, and Washington is going to be out. And I'll tell you what, I don't believe in Taylor Heineke. I just don't. And maybe I should, and I think he's probably shown enough that we can feel decent about him. I don't believe in him as much as I would believe in Jalen Hurts and getting it done in crunch time, because he's got that championship experience having played at Alabama, all right? And maybe I'm making too much of that, but I think that if the Eagles can play the way they play, they're probably a little bit better and have a little bit easier time of getting into the playoffs than Washington would.
Well, and Jalen Hurts' championship experience at Alabama doesn't include being on the bench for 1 championship, and maybe that would be the better option right now for the Eagles. I know plenty of fans want to see Gardner Minshew continue what he started. Ooh, burn. Ooh, burn, baby. I like Washington, not necessarily because of Heineke, but because of Ron Rivera, because I think he's done some great things, and he should be in consideration for Coach of the Year, frankly. I've got the Packers catching the Cardinals. Now, all they have to do is make up 1 game in a head-to-head tiebreaker. I don't know what would happen. I haven't looked at the numbers if you've got the Packers, Cardinals, and Bucks all finishing first, because the Packers and the Bucks didn't play this season and won't play this season, but the Packers do have the head-to-head edge over Arizona. So I've got Packers 1, Cardinals 2, then the Bucks. Cowboys fending off Washington. Remember, Washington's got 2 paths to the postseason, either a wild card or catching the Cowboys. They're 2 games back, and they play them twice down the stretch. Rams at the 5 seed, Washington 6, 49ers 7. That's how I see it right now. And, who knows? So that's what's so fun about this season. Who the hell knows how it's going to play out? But we're pretty much on the same page. We just disagree on the top 2 seeds and Washington versus Philadelphia. Let's flip over to the AFC, Myles. Tell me what you have there.
I've got pretty much chalk over here too, and it's exactly the way that it looks right now, because I don't think that the Patriots are going to lose another game. They've only got 4 left after their bye this week, at Indy versus Buffalo versus Jacksonville, and then versus Miami, at Miami to end it. I don't see them losing. I think they're going to be the number 1 seed, and the AFC is going to have to go through New England, which, oh my goodness, I don't know that we ever thought that it would be just a year removed from Tom Brady that we'd have to say that again. But the Titans, I think they're getting healthier. They're going to get Julio Jones back. I think that's going to be big. I think that they're one of the 2 elite teams in the AFC. Then you got Chiefs, Ravens. Ravens are a little bit in shambles, but I think that they'll win their division, kind of like Pittsburgh did last year. But I think Cincinnati can go 3-2 over their last 5. Chargers also going 3-2 over their last 5, and Buffalo also going 3-2 over their last 5, and that would shut pretty much everyone else out. And Buffalo, though, is the one that's a little bit tenuous because they're at Tampa Bay versus Carolina, at New England versus Atlanta, and then versus the Jets to end the season. So if things start to continue to go south as they sort of have started to with the Buffalo Bills right there, I mean, they're unraveling after press conferences. You've got Sean McDermott really criticizing Brian Daboll on the offensive game plan. Who knows what's going to happen if they lose to Tampa Bay this week? But I still think that they've got enough juice to make the playoffs.
Yeah, look, I've got pretty much the same structure you do with a few tweaks. I have the Chiefs as the 2 seed over the Titans. I've got the Chargers as the 5, Bills as the 6, and Bengals as the 7. That win by L.A. over Cincinnati this week will go a long way toward, I think, propelling the Chargers, although they got a problem now. Keenan Allen's on the COVID reserve list. Mike Williams is on the COVID reserve list. Chris Harris Jr. is on the COVID reserve list. They may have some guys missing from their next game, but that looks like the way it's going to be. I can't write off the Steelers, though, and this probably plays into the Steelers' hands for both of us to have them off the list because they are the most dangerous when you are trying to throw dirt on their prospects. So I won't be surprised if they end up crashing the party if more and more people in the media are omitting them, Myles, from the projection.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they start playing Renegade, they wave those stupid towels, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're going to be right there in that playoff picture. As long as TJ Watt stays healthy.
One of those stupid towels here.
Yeah, I know. Well, I have to call it a stupid towel based on the helmet that's behind me, right? So I think that if they can continue to play well and TJ Watt continues to kind of vaunt himself into that MVP conversation, then, yeah, there's no reason why they can't be a part of the playoff picture. But that would also depend on one of these other teams falling off. And just based on the way their records are right now, I'm not sure exactly who's going to finish the season, 2-3 or 1-4 from those 3 teams.
Browns at Steelers, January 3, Week 17, the final Monday night game of the year, and Ben Roethlisberger's final home game for the Steelers. There may be a few of those stupid towels in the air that night. Let's take a break. We'll answer some of your questions when PFT PM continues right after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.